I'm forming this twitch as well. Every time I press start, I've instantly got a stretch,
Mm.
and I've been doing it for the last sort of like 12, 11 episodes. Like just like kicking the
It,
back or something. Yeah,
like people who've got to switch the light on and off 3 times or the family dies, sort of.
yeah. I mean, yeah, you only made that mistake once, don't you? And then
Yeah, yeah,
there's you blame yourself for Nan's death, but
yeah. I should have done it 3 times.
yeah.
Everyone with OCD is at fault for all the deaths.
So if there's anyone in your family you don't like, you only do it once. If you hear like your granddad's not well, oh fuck it, he was a prick anyways.
I think that there's such a market of fun in gaslighting people with OCD.
Are you do you have bad OCD?
No, no,
So
just
volume
little like
19 and volume 17 on the controls and stuff.
when oh yeah, yeah, they've got to be even numbers, or
What is
it like it could
OCD?
be yeah, but it's not a disorder. I wouldn't put it there. Like I'd say when I was a teenage kid going into teenage, I was bad germaphobe.
Yeah.
Like I got worms a few times as a kid, and it just like set me onto germs. I was like, oh, I got that because I'm dirty, and then I just couldn't like food. I couldn't eat it if I saw anyone else touch it or go near it, breathe near it, all that. But that's just idiosyncrasy, really.
Yeah.
But no, like yeah, little things. But I met someone. He can only have the remote on prime numbers, the volume, which is the worst.
Okay. One. I don't. Is one a prime? I can't remember. One, two, three,
Three.
5, 7, 11,
Yeah.
13,
17,
17, 23,
nine.
29. If you go higher than that, go fuck yourself. 31. There you go. Okay,
It's
well,
they're the worst numbers
yeah.
because they don't fit with any other number. I hate them. Two is
I
the
was,
only good one. Five
I
is
was
well.
in London, everywhere is 20 now, 20 miles per hour, which means you can go up to 25. I put my car cruise control on 23 just to piss people off.
No, I hate. I know. No, anyone like if it's 30 and you're not going 30, I just oh that's the thing that winds it. Like I don't have road rage. I have road sarcasm where I'm just like I'm just dead sarcastic. But I never shouty or anything like that. But no,
No,
if you're not going 30 or
no,
33,
no, it's 20 in London. It's 20 in
yeah.
London. It's absolute bull. But see, I've never, I've been driving now for what, 6 years. I've never used my horn once.
Mm,
I've never used it because I don't see the point. Like, all you do is letting them know they're a cop. But I sarcastically clap people.
mm. See, I can't. I go to use my horn, and like I don't because I never really use it. I
Mm.
don't hit it in time, or it just like a little
Yeah,
like, or quite often I'll miss the horn,
punch the airbag out.
or just be way too late to use the horn.
Yeah, you wake up in the middle of the night, go just press the horn to for peace of mind, then go back to bed. So, guys, yeah, cheers for coming on, brother. So,
No
yeah,
worries.
a bit about this, it's sort of there for because with comedians, we all look at like the finished articles. We go, oh, that was easy how they do it, but no one actually knows like the grueling process behind becoming a comedian. The late night hours, bobbing up and down the motorways. I'm saying M25, but you're you're from Liverpool. That's I'm gonna get slapped. But that's a Scouse, isn't it?
Well, I'm not. I live in Liverpool. I'm not a Scouse. I'm from just outside. I'm from Wallasey.
Okay. Do
Yeah.
you like? Is there like a time frame to like qualify to be a Scouse, or can you
Just
never
born
be
in
one?
Liverpool. You got to be born in Liverpool.
Oh, I didn't
Like
know that. I've just got to
that's
live
it.
there.
Nah, born in Liverpool. Like if you're from outside, you're a wool, and that's very like Scousers cry the second, and because a lot of people from just outside they'll claim they're Scousers when they're not. Like the second they talk to someone who isn't Scouse, but there's that like Scousers also get very sensitive about it. They're very sensitive about a lot of topics because it winds me
Mm,
up. Because Liverpool is my city. Like I feel a
yeah.
lot of like identity and closeness to it. But and people are horrible to Scousers for like certain reasons. Like they'll use working class reasons and all that. Like just horrible to them when they could make fun of them for so many other things.
Mm.
Like Scousers cry if you don't wear the right socks, which is just that's childish. But instead they'll make up stuff about, I don't know, bin dipping or
Okay.
robbing socks.
But I do.
But it,
I mean, Liverpool as a city has had a hard time of it in like the last couple of months. You know, Jota, R.I.P.
oh yeah,
You had that guy running over like all the crowd people. Like
yeah,
it's been a hard time for Liverpoolians. But I will say now, the one thing I hate the most, I don't mind Liverpool FC. I think Klopp was amazing. I hate Liverpool fans down south.
a Liverpool fan down south, like
Yeah.
Scouts down south, or people
No,
from
not Scouse. When you've got your born and bred Londoners who support Liverpool and
get
they've
that
got
worldwide
no
foot.
heritage, no claim to it. And like, because I think it's because, like, what was it? Before Klopp, they just moaned about everything. I mean,
Mm,
I'm Arsenal, so I can't say much.
yeah.
Like, we stamp our feet as well, but never been a fan of them. So, Kai, how long have we been doing comedy for?
I've been comedy 2.5 years, started January 2023.
Okay,
Yeah.
and how would
Um,
you say it's going for you?
I like it's going well, but like I always say that, but like I never, it feels weird because comedy, um, saying that things are going well just feels anti-comedy.
Yeah.
Being nice about yourself feels anti-comedy. It's like, and I've probably fallen into it myself in private. It's like, uh, you get a lot of people in comedy who are just going on about like that. Oh, you've just got to work, get up every day, work, grift, like properly in that culture of just like wake up at 6 a.m., like cold ice plunges. And
Yeah, man, just take shit
I
in it.
think there's
Like,
time for all that, but it's very anti-comedy.
yeah. Yeah,
But
I mean, but I will say on the reverse though, it isn't just going up and doing your 5, 10, 15, 20.
oh,
You're not only working 20 minutes a day. It
oh yeah,
is
for sure. Like
like,
I'm saying, you need to do all this stuff to do well at comedy, but it feels weird ever talking about it.
yeah. So like, how would you say like your writing process is?
My process, like I never sit down and write. I think if I think of something funny, I'll write it down
Mm.
and then I'll talk through it with my partner and then I'll just say it over and over again in my head until I find a rhythm that I like for saying
Right.
it.
Okay,
But
so you won't like, like be out and about, you think of something, you bang it on your phone and then go down and write it into a script. You'd sort of do like, like the premises,
I
punchline in your head and then gel it.
I'd say I used to write it into a script, but when I do write it into a script, I find I quite easily just overwrite it and it doesn't sound like something a person would say. So
Okay.
most of the time when I think of a bit, it's something I've just directly seen or a conversation I'm having with someone. And
Okay.
then, but if I sit down and try and write it, I'll overwrite it. The closest I'll get is I'll just stare at it and then just start talking aloud.
Okay.
And
So what?
like, if it's good, I remember it. And if it's not good, it tends to just fade and
Yeah.
I can't find the rhythm. It's like music, kind of. Like you find the lyrics. Well, like that's how my brain works with it.
Okay. And how many times would you like try a joke on stage before you're like, you know what, it bangs, or no, I'm gonna get rid of it?
Depends on the joke. Because like there is some that like I'll try once because I've got nothing else to try, and I'll be like, yeah, I kind of knew that wasn't gonna work. Or another thing, like normally if I'm tending towards like wordplay, I'll I'll think it's better than it is, and then I'll try it and I'll be like, no, it doesn't fit me. But there are some things where like I know they're funny, so I'll keep persisting. Like I've got bits that I've been trying for like 2 years where I get them backwards and forwards to just working and being one of my strongest bits to then not really working again. It's more so I've got just people around me who will be honest with me about like I'll just get the reactions when I tell them it. And I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, you laughed at that. S- Like, Like my mum's a good example.
Oh,
Like
my mum's the fucking worst. She is the worst. She's no sense of humor. The second I mention a dick or something, she goes, "That's not funny." It's like,
uh, see, my mum, like I'd put her in the same category as like audience member
oh,
is
that's good.
is what like I'd say. All right, she's a pretty good metric. Like the second she'll like give me a tag or something back, I'll be
Mm.
like it'll be awful. It'll just be, why don't you do this joke someone else has done? Or just it, but like she's a good metric for what an audience might understand or
Right.
get. And I'll have a
I,
few people I'll just test on like that.
Okay. See, my mum's quite opposite. Like her favorite comedies. Now, do not get me wrong. These are like some of like the greatest of all times: Peter Kay, Michael McIntyre, Lee Evans. That's my mum's type of comedy. And she told me, do that stuff on stage. I was like, Mum, I'd have a heart attack if I
Yeah.
moved around like I'm deadpan. So, what sort of comedy would you say would do we do? Do we do like one-liners,
Um,
observational storytelling?
just yeah, observation and stories, just like that, just bits really. Like and like I won't really do act outs or anything physical in them unless like I can feel an audience go with me, and then
Hmm.
I'll sort of do it with them. Like if I'm really feeding energy, but just silly stuff where like um I'm not wedded to really any topic or anything. Just what I think of, if I can find a way to get it in. I've got a lot of bits about disabled kids, but that's because I work with kids, disabled kids. So um, they just, but like finding material about them that's just on side, it's
Yeah.
just it's been such a good learning curve. It's just like, oh, where's the line here on this sensitive topic? And just hammering it down and just completely clean material about it is just,
Yeah.
yeah.
I, ah, I love, every single type of joke. With, like say like sensitive topics like that, do you have to like really sort of set the boundary prior, or do we sort of go straight into it?
Um, I go, um, so like it'll just be a little one line right at the top just to show you, oh, you can make a joke about this. That is okay. You've
Yeah.
just got to let them know. By the way, here's a joke about this topic that
Hmm.
is fine. And like when I first started doing that sort of stuff and delving into that, I was very offside.
Hmm.
I was 10 yards offside, about to 2 foot the keeper. Like, and it's just finding my way back from that. Yeah, it's but like with audiences like that, you've just got to build goodwill before you
Yeah.
like about the topic.
It can't be
So
your
I
first joke.
what?
Like it couldn't be your first joke straight off the bat.
Well, I open with it.
Oh,
I just
fucking awesome, bro.
yeah, I open with it. It's just you've got to do a completely nice one, and then
Hmm.
they let you be naughty a bit.
Yeah.
They'll just as long as they know, oh, this guy actually knows about the job.
Yeah.
This guy knows what he's talking about, and he's not just making it up for a joke.
Fair
And
enough.
then they give you the freedom to
The
be a
green light.
bit.
The green light to go into it. I do have two autistic bits that I've never done on stage, but I was literally standing outside Iceland having a cigarette, and this autistic kid went by with his mum, and he literally goes to her, "Oh, I bet you want to go in there and get some chocolate." She was a big woman, and I thought that's hilarious. He then goes in a photo booth. She tries to get him out, and he goes, "I don't want you in my photo. You'll ruin it." And autistic is I'm like, and they're so innocent, but also it's so savage as well.
Yeah, yeah. How do you know he's autistic?
Um, uh, to be
Just
fair,
the eyes.
I
Uh,
yeah, I how does it? I just did it as sort of as a wide scape.
oh,
Like
yeah.
I'm not. I didn't want to go up to him and be like, "Oh, that was funny. Can I write down what disability you've got for my set?" Like, I don't know. I think autistic sort of like the is the safer passage than going, oh, he had severe Down syndrome. Because I think that's
Yeah,
instantly
that like
makes people feel sad.
I had a Down syndrome bit. Like I got it working, like properly got it working. But the thing about it like it was benevolently ableist.
Mm,
Like I was being nice about them. Like the bit was that I love working with kids with Down syndrome so much. It's great. They're full of love and gratitude all the time. But I've got a nephew, right, who doesn't have Down syndrome, but he also doesn't have any of that love or gratitude.
mm.
Well, how do I say it? Sometimes I look at him and think, if only. Uh, and that was the bit. Like, and there were tags wherever and that. But then I did it, and it was at a gig that was going well. But like, there were a couple just on the front row that they were they just stopped me a bit. Like this
Mm.
before I got to another punchline in it that definitely might have upset them, but they just said, "Oh, our son's got Down syndrome," and just to suggest that always a good thing is ableist, and I was just like, "Oh, I do feel bad." Like
But you're not
I
talking
don't
about
like
their son.
upsetting.
Like, it's just,
Well,
you're not talking about their son. You didn't say, like, right, who in the room's got Down syndrome or has a son? Right, this joke is about you.
I,
Like, they're the ones to decide to personalize it. That's on them.
at the same time, I'd say with it's like how Anthony Jeselnik says. Um, all these comedians that are going on about you can't say anything
Mm.
anymore, and just they feel dead policed. It was like no, you can. You just got to get away with it.
Yeah.
The challenge is getting away with it. And if I don't get away with it, it just
Mm.
I don't want to upset any audience members
See, I was
unless like they are particular cunts.
oh yeah, but then gun them.
Yeah,
But I will say now, of every single comedian I've spoken to, not one of them to this day has said, we can't joke about that. Ever the people have said
yeah,
you can be sensitive around topics, and
yeah,
so they're like, and you've got to also understand your persona. Like I'm not going to go on and do 20 minutes worth of black jokes
yeah,
because do you know what I mean? I'm a middle class white guy. Like there'd be point. There's
yeah.
better jokes for better people.
Yeah, you can joke about anything. It's the context of all of it.
Yeah.
It's just how you do it. Like, and there are certain things that there aren't many things you can't do.
Mm,
Like there are, like depending on your background, there are some specific words you can't say,
yeah.
right? But
Such
then
as,
outside of
such
that,
as.
well, such
Su-
as
I'm joking.
let's see. Which one's your favorite? I'm gonna say crap. Crap. You can't say crap anymore.
Tommy.
Oh,
Why is it weird? Like I'm surprised they haven't changed. Does the with Down syndrome, does the down part have a connotation? Does it mean anything?
um,
Like why is it not
um,
happy syndrome?
uh, because they're not all like I've worked with a lot of them, and you know what? Some of them are just absolute nightmares that aren't happy.
Mm, yeah.
It's like disabilities are mad. Well, like because some of them are just they're just happy guys, like in the Shane Gillis um bit where he's just like. Oh, they don't need like anti-anxiety medication. They're just Capri Sun and vibes. Like some of them are like that, and then others like it's a lot more complex and things like that.
Mm. Well,
Um,
just like normal society, you get nice people, and then you get people who've got problems.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like it's the same. Like, and you've got kids with up syndrome now as
Up
well.
syndrome is that what it's called? Up syndrome.
There's up syndrome as well, genuinely.
Did not know that. Did not know that. But see,
Yeah,
you work in the field, so you know
yeah. I work as a teaching assistant and
you
special
know
needs
about it.
school.
Oh, I've had a couple of people who've gone from TA into comedy.
Yeah, yeah. It's just agency. You can do it.
Like,
Yeah, because you can
is it
work
Sen as
agency
well?
and but
Like, is it Sen TA?
yeah, yeah,
That's called.
78.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like, Sen, they are crying out for them right now, aren't they? People working in
Yeah,
Sen.
yeah, just the needs way higher.
Yeah.
And you know what? I need them as well because like quite often I'll just be looking at like this kid, like it'll be 9:30 in the morning, and I'll just be staring at this kid in the playground, and I'll just be thinking, you should have seen what you gave me in New Barrack Tavern last night. Oh, Sheffield loved the story about you, and you'll never know. You'll
Yeah.
never know.
Oh, on your special, you got to give them all credits. It's just a list of every single one of them. So, how would you say? You say you've been in comedy for 2.5 years now. How would you
Yeah.
say, like, you've evolved over that time?
Um, I would say just from not being on a script or on a rail. When I started, it was just like, oh, if I just said one word slightly differently.
Mm.
So if I don't know, for example, instead of saying cheese board, I said cheese plate, I'd be thinking to myself, oh, I riff tonight. Uh, but like, and then you just get more comfortable just being yourself, and it's still a journey I'm on. Like, I'm not at the end of that. Like, just the more you do it, the more you learn how you're funny at the pub
Yeah.
is how you should try and be funny on stage. Like, and
Yes.
that's the journey for me is like how when you're sat there with your mates and you're killing and just that's you want to get that on stage, but you've got to find the way to make them understand your character quickly because it's working with your mates because your mates know you and they know
Mm.
the context of you. So you've got to find a way to get on stage and get them to understand that as quickly as possible and then be able to just be relaxed and funny in the moment rather than just depend on I mean jokes and bits are great and all that, but after you've told them for a while, the real I find the thing that feels best is just being funny in the moment.
Mm.
And it's hard. Like it's not something I've anywhere near mastered, but like that's the thing that gets me feeling best. Like second section emceeing, like I don't think comedy gets better than that
Mm.
where you've warmed them up, opening acts warm them up, and then they're excited to see you again, and they've thought of stuff in the break they want to tell you, and you're just holding court. Like an act that I've seen do that best are just creating chaos in the room and holding court and managing it is Rob
Mm.
Rouse. Just
Okay.
circuit legend, unbelievable at just creating chaos and holding court. Like he's got a bit that's like about bin day and it's like 15 minutes and there's just nothing but everything to it. It's just he's got the room going mental over bin day.
Who's who's the other does a great bin day? He's Lord Scott. Great at crowd work. Lost his name.
Scott Bennett.
Scott Bennett.
I've
Yes.
never actually seen Scott Bennett.
Right.
I've just heard amazing things.
Crowd work absolutely second to none. I mean, part, the goats,
Mm.
second to none. He's got a bin day skit and like, yeah, very, very funny guy. So how was you've done Hot Water Club, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
How was that?
Yeah, yeah, it's great. It's where I started. It was the first gig I ever did was Hot Water. Signed up for the open mic just to
Mm,
do five there. Um, and I remember I went. This is gonna sound arrogant, and it's me not understanding comedy is kind of the root of it. But I went to see the open mic the week before. It was like first week of January,
mm.
and there's like 20 audience in, and it's just a bomb fest, bomb after bomb after bomb.
Well,
Like
all the comics,
all the comics, like
just
two did well out of 12.
yeah.
And I'm just, and I was just there, and I went to go and scope it out to sort of see. I had a five written, and I was like, I want to see what this is like before I start it. And I saw them all bomb, and I was just like, oh, these guys are shit. I can do better than that. In my head, I thought that. But having met all these guys
Mm.
since. I'm just like, oh, that was actually a pretty strong lineup. The audience were shit, which was
Yes.
me.
And how
The
did your
the
bit go?
what?
How did you
Well,
go on
I
that?
did it the next week, and it was a much better. It was like a full room,
Mm,
and it's such a hot room,
mm,
like especially in that old Harbin Street basement. It just felt so hot, and they were on top of you,
mm.
and like in my head, I smashed. I'd probably watch it back now and think, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
But in my head, like, because again, it's open mic, so you get a few
Mm,
people who just couldn't find a laugh,
yeah.
like ever, and you just so it was being in and around those of seeing people do well and people absolutely bomb and just no right this I sped through it in like 3.5 minutes as well. I timed it at 5 minutes. I didn't get the light at 4. I
Oh,
like my legs were shaking
mm.
and I just yeah
But you caught the bug.
yeah for like I because I was managing a youth club at the time
Mm,
and I was what that was 3 nights a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, is when it was open. And I was just like, after the first gig, I was like, right, this is getting in the way. I
mm.
was just thinking of quitting the job right there and then. It was a job I worked ages to get as well, salaried. But I was like, this is no, this is the thing now.
Yeah. It's about the comedy. And how do you find the circuit up north? Like, have you done any down in London? Like, have you seen a comparison?
I did a couple down in London, in my first year.
Do you remember
Um,
whereabouts?
yeah, I did the New Act Night at Backyard.
Yeah, backyard. Yeah.
Yeah, I just did the five there. That was great. Just
Mm.
felt like a club. Um, and then I did a G&B night.
G and
It,
B.
yeah, the Star of Kings, I think it was. It was Be Your Own Bringer is sort of there, but like
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
they let me
Yeah. I'm
off
with
with
you,
it.
brother. Yeah.
They let me off with it because I'd come from Liverpool. They were like, yeah, it's fine.
Mm.
I
I
think
mean,
once you pass the M25, they let
you
you.
fine.
You're
They
fine.
accept. I mean, bringing. I mean, bringers is a It's not a thing up north, is it?
No, no, I've never seen
Mm.
a mention of a Bringer gig.
I mean,
Even
I've
outside
done
of London.
before I go into comedy. I did the research, and I think there's about 144 comedy clubs in London, and I think only 40 of them are non-bringers.
Mm. And how many of
Well,
those are like,
entry level. Do you know what I mean? Like,
oh, they're all the entry level. So
yeah, the
no, it's
ones
still
that will
hard.
do like you can book in a 5, you can book in a 10, open
Mm.
mics. But yeah,
Yeah,
66% of them were bringers.
yeah. It's just like I think that would have detract because when I don't really bring anyone
Mm,
to come. Like I don't want to see you. I don't want people there I know to see me working shit out. I don't want like my partner will come every now and then, but at the
yeah,
same time I don't. I just feel such a pressure to be social, and I'm like, oh, this isn't this is work.
yeah.
I'm
Would you
going to
say you
work.
are yourself on stage, or do you create like an alternative persona?
I'm trying to be as much myself as I can be, and then some moments I like find that like,
Mm,
oh, I'm really me right now, and then other moments you're kind of in autopilot and just
mm. Are the best
like doing
moments when you are
this.
yourself?
They're the best. It's the absolute best when you just like when the room is just fully bought into you and
Yeah.
you can just you're like, oh, I can just be me. They like me. They
Mm,
don't just like my jokes, they like me.
yeah.
I've been myself. I've showed them myself a little bit. I've been vulnerable in whatever way. I've just here's something that I find really funny and you've fully went with me. Like, do you know, like they say comedies that of your comedy should be a Venn diagram of what you like and what the audience like, and your comedy should be in the middle.
Mm,
And when you give them something that you think is just in the what you like circle, and they love it, and you're like, oh, I can fully. This is gonna be great. I can fully be me. I feel like I can give you loads on this side, and even if it dies, you'll still like me and go with the next one.
mm.
Like that's That's when I'm having the most fun.
Yeah. I was given some advice, and I haven't taken it on board because I've been asking other comedians first. Um, Someone said to me, when you start out, you should do generic material that everybody likes, that you can go into every single room and it's safe. It's fine. It's a little bit funny. It's safe. Should you start off like that, or should you say, you know what, comedy is my perspective. I want to joke about this, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Eventually, I'll find my room.
Um, I'd say it's a bit of both. I'd say again, it's that Venn diagram. It's fine in the middle, and you should just be aiming for that middle a lot,
Mm,
and then when so you don't go to the left. Don't just hit what they like if you don't like it.
mm,
And like sometimes it takes a while to realize that you don't like it, that it's
mm,
not your funny. Like so I find sometimes like I can spot it a lot easier now. Like if I think of a bit and I'll be like, oh, that's a joke.
mm,
And it works, it's structurally sound, but then you'll be like, oh, I don't find it funny at all. And I
mm.
know it'll get a laugh. Because like you can do the cheapest hacker shit and kill.
Yeah.
But if you don't let again, it's just aim for that middle and aim a little to your side of the middle, and then as
Slowly
you
convert
get
over.
that, yeah, as you get better and comfortable, you learn just how to put more of your stuff in. You learn what works and what
Mm.
you like, and I'd say, and then when you really get good and you can build an audience, then you have the privilege of being selective over what audience. You're not just at the behest of the circuit. The circuit's not dictating what you can
Yeah.
do. You can just, oh, this is all, the you people are all here to see me. Here is me.
Okay. And do you think you should play every room possible? Or, should you
Yeah.
sometimes accept that, there's gonna be about four comics there, about three members. I'm not gonna get much from this. But do you think you should still go
Um,
to every single gig possible?
at the start, yeah. At the start, you should be doing everything. Shit gigs, the good gigs, all that. Like, but you shouldn't just be playing the shit gigs. Like,
Mm.
so if you see a lot of people get stuck in, like, they're like, oh, I'll play every gig possible, but all the gigs that are possible are the open mic with the same acts, and they learn how to play open mic more than they learn how to play proper rooms. So you just
Yeah.
have to travel. If you want to find a proper room, you've got to travel.
Mm.
Like, I had the privilege of having a car, which not a lot of acts do. I don't get how people do it on public transport around
I
the
couldn't.
country.
I couldn't, but I'm
No,
limited. I've got an electric car.
mm.
Stupidest thing I've ever done, and it can only go 80 miles. I've got I've got a
It's
40
so
radius. London, cushy. Yeah, I mean,
I
but you know,
I having to go to like I'm thinking Liverpool to Leeds and then charging. Just it's
literally,
or that would limit you to like if I from where I am now, I could go to Manchester and back on 80
yeah,
miles.
on
That's
eight, yeah, yeah. So I figured what I am thinking of doing because this year is gonna be about podcasting.
mm,
Next year, I am thinking of getting a van
mm.
and
But
like mattress in the back, like,
yeah,
and just trying to
I
like,
just yeah,
go,
I was thinking that when I was before I met my partner. So I got my partner about 6 months into comedy. And
mm,
I was like, oh, it'd be great just to go different cities and just like I just sleep there. I don't have to be anywhere, be a bit of a nomad. And
yes,
now I just want to be home. Like after a gig, oh, I just want to be back with them.
yeah,
Like last,
yeah.
yeah,
Back in your own bed. There's nothing better.
yeah,
So
just
you're going out to Edinburgh, aren't you?
yeah, yeah. Last year I went up for a few days to see what it was like, and this year I'm taking up 3 shows, which is a lot. It's a year to try and fail, like, well,
Mm.
try not to fail, but learn where all the pitfalls are. But yeah, just looking to do as much as I can, get as much stage time as I can,
Mm.
meet as many people as I can.
Yeah, well, not only is it a good, it's also a good networking event.
Sorry,
I no, it's all right,
someone's at the
bro.
door.
I'll talk to myself. So, actually, we now got Mr. Skeleton in the back. He's come from the pub.
Right.
All right, let's be nosy. Let's look in the background here. Is that a pigeon? There might be a pigeon in the background.
All right, I'm
There's
back.
plants. Oh no, I'm just critiquing. Is that a pigeon? Is that a stuffed pigeon?
That is a stuffed pigeon.
Fair enough.
This is a big pigeon household.
Is it? Oh, we're
We're a
strong enough. When I lived in Brighton, I lived in Brighton for 4 years. I had a seagull that come
Mm,
see me, and I had a balcony, and it wasn't a balcony. It was a door that opened that had a railing. But
yeah.
when you're a student, that's a balcony. That's how you tell people. And a seagull got hit by a car once, and it
Oh,
flew into my room and died on my bed.
oh, it's poetic. I
Yeah,
can hear like a um heavy pop punk song about that. The Wonder Years, if you know that, I can hear them writing a song about a seal dying in your bed.
the best bit on that as well. And just one thing, because you can advise me on this. A lot of my comedy at the moment is about being a twin, but I do have a lot of good stories. Like when I lived there in Brighton, to the left of me, next door was a brothel,
Mm,
and about 4 times a year, we'd get a knock on the door at 1 in the morning by some pissed up lads knocking on the wrong building,
yeah.
and I always tried to cop out. And about 1 o'clock in the morning once, I heard screaming outside. It was a guy in a wheelchair yelling at the prostitutes because it wasn't wheelchair accessible. So four prosies came out, all in their like dressing gown, but like that, and they had to lift him up and put him in,
Mm.
and they took him in.
So, like, I imagine he's one of your easier clients, if
Yeah,
anything.
or it could be one of the harder ones. I don't know. It might
Oh
not
yeah,
work.
yeah,
Might be a gimmick for him. You know.
yeah, yeah. And he just wants to use the time. Like
Yeah.
he's not done in a few minutes. He's like, I paid for the hour.
Yeah.
I
It
got
sounds
nowhere
like
else to
it
be.
sounds
I've
like
got
a
nowhere else I
tour.
can be. Uh,
Gets into administration work. You know, I paid for this. so, Fringe. We're going up there. Are we doing the Edinburgh Fringe or the Free Fringe? Because I've heard positives about both and negatives
Free
about both.
fringe, just free fringe with Laughing Horse. Yeah, just because I don't want to pay thousands for
Mm,
each venue.
yeah.
I'd like as well. Not got a name. I want to sell. I can sell tickets on. So um I just flyering is how you get most people in anyway. Is
Yeah.
just selling a good show in person. So until you're a big name. So
Mm.
I've got three shows there. I've got a solo show, which is Silly and Starving.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's essentially just an extended set, just a room where I can just do whatever, be free, do the material I want to do, and also just chat shit and just go on tangents, get people involved. Um, I've got a show a split bill with a good friend of mine, Cameron Jones. He's a great comedian, really good egg. It's called Two Boys, One Bucket.
Brilliant.
And yeah,
Well,
it
I've
is.
seen your image for that. It's a good, yeah, good media.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Like Cam did that poster. He's yeah, really on it with all that stuff. But yeah, just hopefully we can get a lot of Two Girls, One Cup fans. A lot of
yeah,
the nostalgia there. Just bring them in.
it, that's a saturated industry in Edinburgh, isn't it? The two girls, one cup. So,
Yeah, yeah. It's a niche.
yeah,
No one's doing it. No
yeah.
one's doing shows about two women eating shit, but it's two boys, and it's not just a cup, it's a bucket. It's just
It's bigger and
no,
better,
no
in my opinion.
yeah. And last one's a compilation show. It's like uh half comedy, half game show, queer comedy chaos.
Okay, cool.
Uh, yeah, where it's three or four acts. They'll do a set and then they'll do a game versus an audience member.
Hmm.
So we've got all different games, but one of them is, do you know Carrot in a Box from 8 out of 10 Cats?
R.I.P. Sean, man. Eve.
R.I.P. Sean. Yeah.
Uh,
Well, we're doing butt plug in a box.
brilliant.
Uh, Yeah,
Joke's on
superfan.
you, mine's already in. Ha ha. I brought my own.
And the loser has to just. But it's common.
He gets medicine up to every level.
Yeah,
Stage 10's fucking, I don't know. I can't have Godzilla's
I
fucking,
just
I don't know.
and just watching them just vibrate. The cheeks are wobbling, just
The
just
floor
flopping from
shakes.
their eyes.
It's on the magnitude scale, earthquake in Edinburgh.
Just the back is just cracking open.
Yeah.
Just
They got me. Sorry. Oh, okay, so I'll go on to quite a good one then. So being a gay comedian, do you sort of touch on that a bit, like, because do you try and like go for them nights, or do you just want to sort of go to generic comedy?
um, I I do a lot of queer material.
Mm.
Um, but I'd say like because I've done a few queer nights. I don't know. I imagine they're a lot more prevalent in London. Uh, Like
I feel
there's
yeah, I feel they are. How do I say it? Yeah, there are more. No, Joe, I'm going to challenge that because I was gonna say, oh, I think it's easier if you've got a niche, but then also if you're not funny, you'll get filtered out.
oh yeah, no, I mean more specifically queer nights.
There is, but I haven't looked at them because
Yeah, yeah, because
I
there's
can put on a voice, but there's no like, I can pretend like yeah, I'm
yeah,
not. So I'm not. I haven't done much research on them because do you know what I mean? I'd never be
yeah,
invited to them rooms
doesn't apply.
anyways.
Yeah, like I've got like because there's a few out like in the rest of the country there's a handful. And like some of them are really good. Like Queer as Joke in Birmingham is absolutely great night.
It's cool.
And that, but then you get some, and it's less of a comedy audience. It's people
Mm.
coming to a queer event.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of people who are expecting like a poem or something, and then
Mm.
they just want to do little, they don't want to laugh, they just click, and I'm just like, put your fucking fingers away. Right, I want laughs and I want claps.
Yeah.
But it's stuff like that. But like some of them are great. But
Mm.
I just say it's I always come into this like people have this perception as well about queer material is that you do it in a rough place or a proper working class place
Yeah.
that the audience doesn't go for it. And that's not true at all.
Yeah.
Like the places where you'll struggle to do it the most, and it's sort of that's been a huge learning curve is trying to find a way to deliver it is in the little Tory market towns just in the
Mm.
middle of nowhere where they have only ever tried to date their cousin
Yeah.
and they're just the poshest cunts alive. That's who it's difficult to give that to. Um yeah. But like
I've
doing
got both.
those over and over again and travel because they're not near me.
Mm.
So they're the gigs I've traveled the furthest for.
Mm.
They don't like it. And then just that 3, 4 hour drive back of just thinking, right, how am I gonna fix that?
Mm.
And it's just playing it again and I've found a way to deliver it.
Do you know Alex Mitchell?
Yeah.
Yes, I had him on.
Yeah.
I had him on a couple ones ago, and he said he did his queer bit up in Burnley, and as he was doing it, about 20 builders came in and they threw a fish at
Hmm.
him. Yeah, I shouldn't
They
laugh
threw,
at that. I shouldn't laugh
they
at
threw,
that, but
I'll laugh at
it's
that. They threw a fish at him. That's like, as that happens, you must be thinking, fuck me, this is a good story.
yeah, yeah. That's actually
People
this
aren't going to
horrible,
believe
but I've
this.
got material now for
Yeah, yeah,
this.
just, yeah.
Okay.
When
Uh,
something bad happens, you're like, oh, I can't wait to tell people about this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a cod. Why wasn't it a calamari? Why wasn't it a good fish? Like, it's always got to be the lowest, cheapest one. What was I trying to think? I see. I struggle sometimes because I can be quick, but then the other one, like right there, I wanted to say what's the egg, fish egg things?
Caviar.
That's the one I wanted to say. but I muttered out like, why couldn't they throw caviar at me? I bitched it. Um, okay, so with the queer stuff, how do you feel that like they do it in London, and I don't understand why they say like they do queer, trans, and disabled. Like, why has
Mm.
that become a band? Because
I've not seen that, the ban. It's probably because being part of the LGBT community is a mental handicap, and we really need to euthanize them all.
yeah, I to,
You just took that. You just.
no, to me, I'm one of you are what you are. I don't give a
No,
shit.
yeah, yeah, no. I'm just gonna emphasize. I was joking about the euthanization of LGBT people, including.
Well, that stops my follow-up question. What's the most efficient way?
The most efficient way is just to play Chapel Roan in the middle of traffic, and you'll just bang, bang, bang. They'll flock.
You would, but after all the reversing, build up a bit of a. But
Um,
to me, if you're funny, you're funny. I think
yeah.
these rooms are good for starting up, getting noticed and stuff. But I think comedy is an industry that has a really good filter process.
Mm. Yeah, because you find well, some people don't really find out, but other people find out quite quickly whether or not they're funny.
Mm,
Like, because I mean, the open mic comedy scene is full of it lacks self-awareness just entirely, and there's just people there who just they have no idea of how the audience are reacting to them.
mm.
They'll die every single night of the week, and then every time they'll think, smash that, smashed it. And that'll just be there. And they'll just have no idea why they're not
Progressing.
progressing.
Yeah, like the delusion of grandeur, like the people who've done like 300 shows, they're still doing, like their 5 minute open mic sets. Whilst I respect it, but is there a point where you've got to look in the mirror and say, I'm purely doing this for fun. This is a hobby. I don't give a shit. Or do I
I
try
think
another creative outlet?
I think some people should never be told. I think there are some people like you have that, they go up, die on their ass and think that was great. And they've got no ego about them or arrogance, and they just don't have self-awareness. And nobody should ever tell them that they're not good at it. They're at open mic comedy. It's where they should be. Is just existing in that little bubble. And if they're not harming anyone, let them have fun.
Do you know
But
what? I couldn't have had a. I give me 20 times. I couldn't have responded better. That was an absolute perfect answer.
yeah.
Uh,
The only problem is when you get people who die on their ass every night and say, "I'm the fucking man." They
uh,
come off like they think they're better than everyone. They're bitter because they've no idea why they haven't progressed. Why is that person getting that? And I'm like,
they're giving you
oh
advice.
yeah, yeah, they're the people that are the problem on the open mic circuit. But the
They
people
need
who
to
are
get sat
shit
down.
and aren't arrogant about it. They're just attending open mic comedy because it is open mic. It's open to everyone, whether you aspire to be on live at the Apollo or you are just a bit mental.
Mm,
Like, it's open mic comedy. Don't complain about the quality of open mic comedy because it is what it is. It's labeled right there, open
yeah.
mic.
No, I absolutely love that. So I'm going to do the question I do in every single podcast, the one I love the most. It's a two-parter. I don't really give a shit about the first bit, but I always ask to be polite. What has been your favourite moment on stage in comedy, and what time did we bomb the hardest?
Um, favorite, favorite moment would be they just like it's difficult for specific moments. I don't know. It's just those where you've just had a big opportunity and you've just taken it and you're just feeling that like probably like my first Sunday at Hot Water, which is like the first progression past the open mic. But
Yes.
like it's not really hard to get booked on it, but like it's more what was happening around it. So like I just had one the best gig I'd had to that date was that night.
Mm,
But my partner, we were just getting together, and I think we were just official on that day.
mm.
And Paddy the Baddy was in the crowd as well,
Oh,
which
okay.
is
I
it just
honestly, I'm not a UFC guy. I think he is such a breath of fresh air. I think
mm,
he's brilliant.
I think he's mental.
Yeah.
He's just mental. The same with like all combat fighters. Like our expectations should be low with them. Someone
Mm,
who's been rewarded for violence their entire life with all the fame and money
mm.
they could have, and you're expecting them just to be normal, not insane people.
Yeah. If you get hit in the head that many times, then yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
something's gonna
For
get knocked
every
out.
like the only combat fighter I've seen like with that is just a level head is Tom Aspinall.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
I know
feel like
nothing about UFC. I know the
I don't know
buzzwords.
much
I
other
know the
than what
buzzwords.
YouTube Shorts tells me.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, he seemed humble.
Mm. And the
And
worst moment on stage?
worst moment. Oh, there could be a few. Like the one's jumping out to me, and it's just not like Oh, should I even tell that? So it was. I was quite new. Oh, I've got two.
Okay.
Uh,
I'll relax for this then. Let's go.
Go on. It's more just me fucking up. There was one where I was doing this competition
Mm.
uh, and in Southport, and there's about 14 comics there and five audience. So I'm playing to the comics,
Yeah.
and there was this bit I used to do. I never got it off the ground really. It was where I compared um like rapey men to dog owning an aggressive dog. Like you feel responsible for the dog in the way you feel responsible for other men as a man. And, like I never really got it going, but like it had wordplay. Scooby, do not let him near your drink,
Mm.
or Clifford the Big Red Rapist.
Mm.
And then it just yeah, it got a little bit from the comics, dying on its ass. And then there's this old man sat at the front. He's not after anything. And I'm like, right. Um, and I see there's a Joe in pubs, there's the dog biscuit
Yeah. Yeah, I got that one, yeah.
jars just in front of him. And I go, well, if they're gonna act like dogs, treat them like dogs. Get a biscuit out and like just go, you want one of those, you big old rapist. I was just I was just, and then I was like, oh, you didn't find that funny. It's probably because you're a big old rapist. Comics dying laughing. Audience are like, what's going on here? I'm a few months in. I've like, oh, I'm not getting any from this.
Was he
I'm
still like,
spitting my dummy out. What?
did that get him going or?
No, no, it didn't. It just, it didn't. As well, the mad thing is, um, so it that competition was like the semi-final, whatever, and
Hmm.
I got put through to the next round. I don't know how. It's just like I was like, the guy came I think he sent me a message at the end, like, oh, you're through to the next round. The other guy really like who was running it really liked it, and I was just like, how?
Well, that's
And
been it. They say like like when like you send in like your material and your clips like that.
mm.
Seasoned comedians, they know what's funny, not funny, and they respect more than anything. Sometimes you can just have a shit crowd.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you can, and like at that point, because those other 14 acts, I knew them all, and they'd seen all of my good stuff that I
Yeah.
had at the time. You know, the 4 minutes of good stuff I had. Well, that was good at the time.
Yeah.
So I was just like, right, what can I do? And then what was the The other one, again, this is on me. I was doing like a gig in Southport, and I no, not Southport again,
It's always
Nottingham.
Southport, yeah.
No, no, I was doing a gig in Nottingham. I rock up and there's like six audience, which is playable, but like in this huge function room of a pub, and like there's noise leaking from all the other rooms, and um the MC's on,
Mm,
and like it's there's these two guys at a table at a like 90 degree to where he is, and they're
right.
just talking to each other. We've invaded their night out,
Mm.
and but there's other rooms of the pub they can go to, and he's just like, "Oh, you're right, mate," and the guy's like, "Not really. Um, I I had a stroke. I had a stroke the other day," and he was just like, "Oh, are you being serious?" And he was like, "Why the fuck would I joke about having a stroke?" And he was like, "Well, I'm a comedian. People sort of say all sorts to me. Like, it was like, no, you get on with your comedy. Like, just leave me alone." He's being so aggy, being such a prick. And then he goes to speak to the other guy's mate. He's like, "Oh, what about you, mate? You all right?" And he goes, and the first guy goes, "Don't speak to him. He tried to kill himself yesterday." And it's just, oh, it's just, oh, absolutely just.
Oh,
But the MC, he's nice about it.
yeah.
Transitions out. The other six people, the six people that are there for it are being quite nice. So he just goes to them, um, because the guy's still being aggy, and then um, I'm first act on, and the first thing I go to him is I say, "Oh, Steve, are you being serious about having the stroke? I'm sorry to hear that because this morning I actually had a stroke of my own. I do,
Yeah.
I do that. I just go, a wank joke, pretend to do a home run, just shit stuff like as a new act, and then just next second, the second mate is stood up, squaring up to me." And he's like, "What the fuck's funny about having a stroke?" And I'm just like, these guys laughed.
Yeah.
Like these six nice people.
I would have died. I would have died there and then. Like,
Well, like I was just there. I was like, I can't lose face. Like the
yeah.
guy's much bigger than me, would have battered me, but I was like, I'll take a battering to win the duel of words.
Yeah.
But, but he's like squaring up. I'm just like, fucking sit down. You've cried like three times. And then a guy from the front
What are you gonna do?
row.
Kill yourself? Like, no. You're shit at that as well, mate.
We start fighting, he just starts like
Yeah.
punching himself.
I'm losing. I'm losing.
This is what I want.
Yeah.
Um, but the guy from the front row stands up and just ushers the guy back to his seat.
Mm.
And then everyone else, like the guys are still there in the corner, just being miserable. And
Yeah.
then
They
it's
could have left.
straight they never left.
Yeah.
But then the guy, everyone else just sort of was like, "Ah, dead smiley, like, no, we want this to go well."
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, but it was everyone against them two guys. So
Yeah.
they're probably
They're still there.
two the two worst. Because like at the time I was like sort of thinking, "Oh, badge of honor," and now I'm just kind of embarrassed, so embarrassed that like I'm saying it publicly on recorded.
I'll even it up then. One of my worst moments, because I've only done about what like 9, 10 shows now, was I did a gong show last Thursday, and um I do a joke so about being fat. Then I say like, oh, if you're fat, you got to get a fatter mate. My mate is like massive and he's a fireman. He can't get up the ladder anymore, so we call him a bungalow specialist. Like, but that joke always goes well. The next bit, which I tried for the first time, I read the room so wrong. I was like, oh, he's so fat and ugly. He's just been granted a visa for this new country. I can't remember what it's called, but I know they wave a rainbow flag. And
The Seychelles.
no, basically saying like he's LGBT, like he's waving the
Oh.
rainbow flag. And yeah, nothing. It was like
Yeah.
cards, bomb, 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 straight off. It was like, yeah, yeah, I should have tried. You know, when like you're literally 2 minutes before you're about to go on stage, you think, I've just thought of something, but you've
Yeah.
not thought it through. You're like, I'm just gonna go up and say it because it's now
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Then no, absolutely tanked, and yeah, I had about 250 faces just staring at me in disgust.
That at the store.
No, up the creek,
Hmm.
up the creek in Greenwich. Comedy Store was my first gig.
Oh, how'd that go?
Minute 24, because I messaged him at like 5 in the afternoon saying, oh, because I didn't know the process of getting onto a stage. I thought, oh, you can just rock up, or you can just message them on the day.
Hmm.
Stupid of me. And they emailed back saying, oh yeah, we've just had a couple of dropouts. Starts at 7. So
Hmm.
that literally straight away, boom, bus, train on, and I went on stage with like I hadn't written down nothing,
Yeah.
and we're just
Just
like deer in the headlights.
124 is decent for that.
I think I got the sympathy vote for about a minute
Hmm.
because I said this is the first time I'm ever doing comedy. So I think they gave me a grace period,
Yeah.
and then I stopped. I looked around, and I looked at the logo in the back. Like it's like the Rolling Stones smile. And I was like, oh, that's a cool logo, isn't it? It's very lippy. It's shit, and it's like, okay, bomb, bomb, bomb. Like, and then the
Just
MC was like, Daniel Farr, or is it Daniel Fart? And then everyone laughed. I was like, okay, well,
just a fart joke. Just
yeah,
bang.
yeah. The best joke in my presence was at me after I'd left about my surname. I was like, yeah, cool. Like, I'll take it. I'm gonna quickly go for a fag, and then just like left, and
Oh.
I was second on,
Hmm.
and
Yeah, it's
out
just
of
brutal again.
and there were 40 comics there, only two got through.
It's not worth traveling for.
Yeah, it worked. Right, Kai, that's all I've got time for, I'm afraid
Right.
today, brother. But you've been
Nice one, that.
absolutely brilliant.
Oh, thank you, man.
And when are you up in Edinburgh? What dates?
July 31st to August 24th.
Okay, so guys, we're listening. Head up there, Edinburgh Free Fringe, and if you want to see two guys and a bucket, I mean, it might have moved up to full recycling bin by then. Who knows?
Yeah, could be.
Who knows how
Could
it's going
be.
to progress?
Oh,
Brilliant guy. Have a good one, man.
nice one.